Welcome back to S.P.Q.R. with Pink and Orange and Gold doing the things. Let's see. Behind the scenes, watching the trial unfold in the exact manner I have arranged is glorious. I speak privately to each witness before they testify. To the public it appears as if the Emperor presides, but I am in command of the proceedings. Severus looks to me often during the proceedings. There is no doubt of what the outcome will be. We'll just keep trying this. I was also noticing maybe like I can't really leave here. I think I was only supposed to be able to enter in this place simply because these doors were like broken. Somebody tried to break in and then they were under construction, and that's why we actually entered this place. Now we're just camping here and seeing if something is gonna happen. Diversions. I tried to stay away from the trial. I couldn't bear to see Rome do to Verania what they have done to countless others. The temple of Castor and Pollux was broken into, and I went to look at the crime scene, but soon I found myself rushing back to the Bastilia Julia and the parade of lying witnesses. Verania sits through it all immobile, staring off into the distance. A distraction. I was taken away from Verania's trial by a break-in at the temple of Castor and Pollux. The standard weights and measures appeared at first glance to have been tampered with, but the quaestor in charge could find nothing to prove it. I took the opportunity to exchange some gold for sesterces and had the impression I got more than I usually do. But I was in a rush to get back to the Basilica Julia, so I didn't give it another thought. This is also something we should be looking at. Where's my paper as well? Somewhere over here. Actually, this one, we should be at the treasury right now, right? AD, XIV, calendar, Ayun. Costs. I've done some additional figuring, and I believe I can now afford the marble for the new temple. I will also have to put aside sesterces for extra laborers if I am to get the temple built in time for the Saturnalia. There is also a hoisting device that will speed up work, but will cost additional funds. And then there's the concrete, the timber, the bricks. And if I decide on that glass mosaic for the entry flooring, I think we've already seen this mosaic thing before. I think we could just teleport back in here. We're just gonna have to quickly check on... there's the wine shop. Let's see, where is this thing? Tabularium? Treasury... something... I don't know if there's a specific dot for the thing. can we find it as fast? I actually kind of didn't notice that this thing was gonna come up at this point somewhere. It's not over here, but it's like... I think it's over to this side. And as you can see, it's hard to navigate because things... Is it not over here then? Also don't know if I've seen that one before, but it's just a matter of... Ah, we can actually go back in here, so that's good to know. Now... I don't think we can get back out though. Now it doesn't matter if I don't make it in time, I actually don't... Where is this stupid thing then? This is the one. Is it like on the other side exactly? Via Nova, I don't think it's over here. This is the Vestal Virgin's house. It's the other side of the forum. Wait, I don't even know what the forum is exactly anyway. Sybil. Guardian's office. It's so confusing, right? Also, there is a way in between here, right? Well, not in between there, but over here. It's so weird. It doesn't even seem like it from the other end. Well, either way, we're gonna make it. If we don't make it, we're just gonna load back and see. I'm just confused, like, how do I get there again? This and this. It's not over here. It's just the other place that I... It's like next to the bathhouse, or what is it called in Roman terms. That's Guardian's office. Oh, it's not over here. I'm just lost. How do I get there? No, it's not this place. Tiberius River. Temple of Hercules. I don't think we'll ever get there. So this is the Basilica Julia, where there's like the trial happening. Is it over here? Totally is. So this is exactly the date that we're currently on. So I actually have to do this thing. I mean, maybe we have a leniency of like on the date we can do this. But I think what we're supposed to be doing here is get the answer correctly. but these are like the standard weights. But then they have been tampered with. So this sum doesn't add up. And we need to find some kind of a balance as well. So I think I've seen the solution here. I just didn't quite understand. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, let's see. If the outcome is, let's say 35, right? So we have 4 times 5, which is 25. I don't think that's correct though. I think we need 3 times 5. 15, oh, we have 20 left. I think this is correct though. Like, they added 1 extra as well. So I'm gonna just check this out. It's not correct. Alright. So how was it then? 2 times 5, 10. We need 25 more. So we have 3 times 4. 3 times 3. What am I doing for 3? 2 times 5 is 20. 25. Was it like this? It's not. Oh crap. I think it was something weird. Would it be 5 here, then we have 10 plus 12 plus 8. And we need the 1 here. I don't know if this is exactly what he just did just now. It's not even right. I don't recall the solution, and I was just trying to appear smart, right? I just recall that when I was calculating it, it just didn't add up. There was like 1 extra. Like, I'm pretty sure this 1 goes over here. But then I need to make like 35 on these. Like, this counts more, of course. I'm pretty sure 5 is used as well. So we have 5, 12, and 8. Maybe my math is just completely off and I completely misremember this crap. But I'm pretty sure when I added up like this hook and this hook and this hook, I was on like 35. But then this one was just... So I don't think it makes any sense to me. We need to measure exactly 35. But we know that the weights are tampered with. So we actually get... I mean, Lucius said that he was getting... He got more than he usually do. I don't really know what that means in terms of the weights. I mean, he got more. So the weight is less, or the weight is more. I don't... This makes so little sense. Pretty sure we've tried this one. That's not it. Let's see. Like I'm pretty sure that that goes there. So we have 6 plus 12 is 6 plus 12 is 18. We need like 17 more. That's never gonna work. Definitely not like that. I think there was one as well, like maybe the 3 or the 4 was not used. I think it's either like this, or is these swapped? But I'm pretty sure I've already tried that too. Yep. Gotta be smart. So maybe 20, 21, maybe 14 more. 3 times 4. I mean, this should be right. Then again, I think we have to do it without using, or maybe without using the 1. Who knows? So what if we have like 20? We need 15 more. It's so confusing. Three times 5 is 15. Then we need 20 more. 4 times 4 is 16, and we need 2 more. No, 4 more. Yeah. It just doesn't add up, right? Or maybe I don't understand this weight things as well. Like, I have seen a solution, I just don't understand it. Like, I think that was it, but then you add the 1. It just doesn't make sense, right? So we get the correct weight because we did it correctly. Is this 1? Well, after some trial, I actually did it. Dot dot dot. A delicate balance, leveraging a huge load. Dot dot dot. Mighty pillar of Rome, destroyed. Dot dot dot. Standard weight. I just don't know. I just don't know, man. Do I have to do this one as well? If I already did it, but then I teleport away, does it still count? Still sounds super terrible to me. But I'm pretty sure that's the correct answer as well. It just takes time. Let me just cross this off my list. Temple of Vesta was in March already. But then there's also the festival in this month as well. For Vesta, I believe. I don't know, that there might not be much more here for the Vesta thing. But hey, the art of building. As Vitruvius writes, architecture depends on order, arrangement, eurythmy, symmetry, propriety, and economy, and anything else that ends with an Y or like a... How do you call this symbol even? Just the Y, of course, but we call it something in Dutch. The temple of the guardian spirit of the emperor will follow all these principles, and it will be beautiful. It will be an ideal example of good taste. It will be pleasing to the eyes, and all the elements will be in proportion and symmetric. Yes, I'm actually recording. Good job, streamer. I mean, YouTube video recorder. I mean, yeah, I know it's boring to click this every time and just get the same outcome. But that's insanity for you. A liar. Let's read about the source of Nevis first. The evidence coming to light from the trial of the former Vestal Verania helps to account for the crimes our city witnessed in the last few months, such as the sacrilege at the cave Lupercal, the break-in at the temple of Antoninus and Faustina, and the recent trouble with the weights and measures. There are reasons to believe that the woman entertained illicit relationships with a number of men, among whom may have been the traitorous prefect of evil name, and that their accomplices are responsible for the above mentioned acts, while the extinction of the sacred fire was clearly of her own doing. A liar. The instant Crixus volunteered to be tortured to give true testimony, I knew who had set up Verania. I concerned Sybil during a recess, and she smiled strangely but said nothing. Why has Sybil done this to Verania, this beautiful woman murdered by this wicked crone? There is no justice in Rome. A nosy investigator. Lucius took me aside and confronted me about my part in Verania's trial. I put him off. He is such a dolt. I told him he should be investigating Calamides and the break-in at the temple of Castor and Pollux instead of putting his nose where it didn't belong. It appears he has some unholy feelings of his own for the Vestalis Maxima. I mean, yeah, he does. It's just kind of weird as well, like, everything in Rome, it's like... It's whatever you make it out to believe that it is. Like, if you are the emperor, you can say, oh, I am a god, and it literally is so. Or you can say, oh, hey, I'm the emperor, I am descendant of... You could just say, oh, hey, people are guilty. You could just say here, in your newspaper, Acta Diurna, you could just say, oh, Verania was such an evil woman. She's like Calamides, right? You could just say everything. If you're in that power. That sounds a bit better. Just kidding. Guess the sound doesn't matter. We'll just keep trying it, and if we don't get it anyway, we'll just move on to the next order of business, which is the Sacred Grove. the accuser. Also, Xanthus has like a lot of compassion for Verania for this one good deed that she did, which is probably the only good deed that Xanthus has ever seen done in whole of Rome, but it just seems to impact him so much after he was like the Calamites. Maybe he still is. They insinuate that Verania had an affair with the traitor Plautian. 5 months dead. False witnesses speak of their secret meetings. Pastor, a chef at the palace, stated under oath that she approached him on the subject of poisons. More liars testify that she has committed indecent acts. Lucius is named, and I see him blench with horror. Other names are mentioned. Faces grow pale, but no one stands to defend her. She is alone against the force of the Empire. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, if Lucius stood up, which I'm pretty sure he will do eventually, soon, then I don't know. He might just be brought to justice himself for, like, being the accomplice of Verania, because they wrote in the litter together, like, just craziness. Money for gamble. I exchanged my gold for sesterces with a banker in the forum today. I watched as he weighed my golds against his weights, which had been matched to equal the Empire's standard measures kept in the temple of Castor and Pollux. I received quite a bit more sesterces than I originally thought I would. The banker checked his balance, pans, and the centerpiece, but all was correct. I walked away with a full purse. Like, I mean, messing with the weights like that, it certainly does make the bankers go bankrupt eventually. Which is not a good thing for those, and not a good thing for Rome. Also, just imagine the thought of the standard weights not being standardized anymore. The verdict. I have reached the climax of the theatrics. As Augustus said on his deathbed, the comedy is finished. Applaud. The verdict was read, and the crowd erupted, as if the actors were taking their final bows at the end of the play. My head spins. Why? Who? So many questions, but one thing is known. I will die in the execution chamber reserved for errant vestals. I will be buried alive on the edge of the city. I cannot continue. ... The verdict. My plan is a success. Vengeance is mine. Guilty, the Emperor said, and so guilty she was. I must admit, I was slightly dissatisfied with Verania's response. She just stood there, immobile, staring off into the distance. No crying, no theatrical tearing at her breast. No swooning. Well, you can't have everything. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why Sybil was accusing Verania of this stupid thing. Like, apart from the dream, like, obviously she wants the dream come true, because she's like a prophet of some kind of, like, but this also seems like a Calamitis act of doing things. Oh hey. I mean, in a way, it is an act of calamitis, but in a way, it is not. Like, if you're accusing Verania of, like, all these things of being a bad person, being the calamitis itself, I mean, in a way, it is good as well, but in a way, it's bad. Like, if she is the calamitis, it's like she's the one actually doing the things. It's not like a ghost or like a mysterious person. It's just like, oh, it's this woman. Or this woman did it. It's like, but on the other hand, it's so brilliant because it's just, of course she didn't do it. It just shows you how broken the justice system is as well in Rome. I don't believe Sybil is the calamitis though, but she is just doing things. Like, I'm pretty sure Xanthus is calamitis still. Are we gonna continue already? I'm sorry for talking a lot. I mean, I just enjoy this kind of thing. Vigilance is required. We were advised by the expert in the fields that no one should feel upset by the gods' failure to interfere with the sorry events of this year. They allowed all these terrible things to occur with the purpose of making the Senate and people of Rome aware about the pestilence hidden in the very midst of our most sacred college and cult. There is the lesson one needs to derive from what happened, namely, recognizing villainy in the guise of virtue. Every loyal citizen must promptly denounce it to the authorities so that it can be exposed and undone without further ado. The Edict of Severus. There's even more stuff to read. Imperator Caesar L. Septimius Severus Pius Pertinax Augustus Abricus Parchicus, son of the defied Marcus, says 1. The imperial court convoked at the Basilica Vulvia undertook close examination of testimonies regarding the charges of adultery, blasphemy, and treason brought against the former Vestalis Maxima Verania. The court found the accused guilty on all accounts, which constitutes a transgression without precedent for the last 100 years, and meriting the penalty of death in accordance with the ancestral customs. Second, we declare that the woman Verania is be disgraced and buried alive in the fields of wickedness, maiorum, her memory cursed and her property confiscated. Third, we instruct the Sacred College of Arval Brothers to conduct the ritual purification on the capital so that every trace of ignominy be once and for all exorcised from city and empire. Fourth, we order that the Vestal Virgins perform a special expiatory sacrifice to the goddess under the supervision of a new Vestalis Maxima, whose appointment will be announced shortly. The end. Severus read his verdict aloud to gasp in the galleries of the Basilica. Sybil really knew what she was doing. Verania was found guilty and sentenced to death in the special way reserved for errant Vestal Virgins. She will be placed in an execution chamber in the ground at the edge of the city, and there she will slowly die. We've read this. Weird. Pretty sure we're doing it correct, but yeah, lots of time goes by. Vengeance. I know what the verdict will be. It is clear from the proceedings that all has been decided ahead of time. I walked the banks of the Tiber as Verania hears her fate. Never have I doubted the corruption of Rome, but there is no point even in finding one or two people or things to believe in now. There is no hope for the empire or for its people. I will forget my attachments and cut my ties. I will destroy them all. Still Calamitis. Dissolution. In the vessel's storage room, I found a lens holder and pulled a crank which opened the door opposite, revealing a control panel. On the upper slider bar, I entered the original date of the Roman New Year, March 1st. On the lower one, the number of days between that date and the current one, inclusively. This currently aligned the light beam and unlocked the lens compartment. I used the lens to relight the fire. So this is basically what we did when we didn't understand what we were doing. I'm just confused why it says like I used the lens to relight the fire. Like I'm pretty sure we did it, but it's also confusing because we're inside the Navitor inside a video game. It's not even the real Rome. It's Google Maps Rome. So I guess Gordian relit the fire? But I thought Verania relit the fire. What is this? Nero. In the Temple of Antonius, I pumped in the Temple of Antonius, I pumped the water organ crank and moved 4 of the instruments, 12 valves to identify the emperors who played as Rome burned. The wall moved and I jumped into the niche to visit the hidden chamber. I mean, this is basically what we're doing the whole time, but Nero's water organ. Let's see, it's like in March. Rituals of the New Year. Will it ever? The Hearth of Rome. Dissolution. Let's see. New is old. Ides of March. The sacred flame was extinguished. The emperor noticed there was no smoke coming from the temple's dome, the hearth of Rome, her very welfare has been tampered with. Has Calamite struck, or is Vesta displeased with us? 2 promises. Volvia was on duty when the flame was extinguished. She is too delicate to violate one of her 2 sacred vows. It was simply misfortune that the flame went out, but the flame died nevertheless. Sad and terrible day, a wounded sister. Eternal scars, I cannot sleep. Word from the Empire. I guess it never says anywhere that Verania did relight the fire. I'm just confused here. So I guess Gordian relit the fire because he probably was in he was like building as well at the temple of the Vestal Virgins or Vestalis, Veranias. Whatever goddess thing. Dissolution. In the temple of Gustor and Pollux I found the treasury. I identified the counterfeit weights by a process of elimination. The 4th weight was off by a quarter of a unit. I measured 35 units of sand and dumped the contents of the pen in the upper left compartment. 1, 2, 5, 4. So yeah, we didn't use 3, I guess. So the 4th weight was off by a quarter. Right. That's why there is an extra 1 here, because it's off by a quarter, right? Just don't really know. Like, you can't really know which weight is off by weight, and you can't really know which weight is off by how many, plus or minus. So it's like really, I guess it is the process of elimination. Just like trial and error, just like we did. Very, very interesting. I mean, at least I find it interesting. A means to an end. I think this game also has like a lot of like background research done to it. I don't know like how much all of this is true. I mean, of course it's a fictional story, but it's gotta be somewhat researched in like the whole map of the place, and it's like it's pretty amazing, right? I think it's pretty amazing. A means to an end. Lucius startled me from behind, grabbing me rudely by the tunic and holding me up against the side of the Temple of Saturn. Everyone is very upset about Verania, since nothing of the sort happened in 100 years. Lucius said Xanthus was a barbarian, and he wanted to know everything about him. I told him everything I knew. When a man resorts to violence, my policy is to appease him in every way possible. Not sure if that's the best strategy, but fine. The execution. I am strapped to a litter and carried to the field of wickedness. The 5 other Vestals, the Emperor and the executioners follow in silence. I am made to descend a ladder into the execution chamber where there is an oil lamp and a little food, for Romans do not starve those who serve the gods. The chamber is closed. I can hear as they cover it with dirt, so that no one will remember my grave. There is no purpose in resisting the fates. Nona holds the staff. The Kuma draws off the thread, and Morta cuts it. Whatever that is.
A festival procession passes me as I wander the city streets. I am no longer impressed by these celebrations. Colors look pale, music hurts my ears, food has no taste. If I find the power to accomplish it, this city will burn forever in an eternal fire that rivals Phlegethon, the flaming river of Hades.
Yay. Means to an end. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it's a good policy to just appease anyone who resorts to violence, but yeah.
I grabbed Gordian by the tunic and demanded he come clean about his stranger, the man I believed to be the barbarian that Verania freed. Gordian gave the man up without a murmur. He had posed as a Greek named Xanthus. He had red hair and green eyes. Gordian had found what he believed to be a document belonging to Xanthus detailing ways to destroy Rome. Gordian seemed relieved to get it all off his chest.
Yep. Should we just advance another date? Let's start with Lucius here. Calamitis. There is no doubt in my mind that this Xanthus or Sergestes man is the Calamitis I seek. He must have come from outside the empire to destroy Rome for some reason I have yet to discover. One question remains. Why did Verania free him at the Basilica Julia last month? And I will never have this answer because her execution has already begun. Now, I must find this barbarian, this evil destroyer. The defense. In the manner of my people from the north, I now go about armed. I will conduct no private or public transactions without the cool metal blade at my side. I will not be caught unprepared here so deep in the enemy territory. I overheard in the forum that Verania's execution has begun. I can do nothing to save her. It is useless to even try. The Emperor's Seer. I am Sybil. The Vestalis Maxima is no more. She embarks along the fiery river to the worst depths of Hades. To Tartarus she will go to be punished for crimes against the gods. Verania is dead and buried for eternity. I mean, she didn't do any crimes against any gods, but why would she be punished then? By who? I still don't know why Sybil wants Verania punished for apart from a dream from the Empire, but what's the goal here? New questions. Is Xanthus truly a barbarian named Sergestes, as Lucius says? Is Xanthus the Calamitis? How could I have been so foolish to be duped by this man? I trusted him. I shared with him all my knowledge of the buildings of the Forum. I treated him as a teacher would a student, or a father would a ... How could he betray me like this? If he is Calamitis, I hope he doesn't use anything he learned from me against the Empire. I mean, surely he wouldn't. Poor Varania. It's a random thought. Let me just try it once more. I'm pretty sure that's correct, but we're not getting it yet. We've also been recording for 50 minutes, so I guess we're stopping here. We've done the wait thing in this episode, and we've done some pretty interesting stuff, I believe, so goodbye. Need to use my mouse to stop streaming, recording even.